Have you ever felt like the harder you work, the further behind you seem to fall? You're not alone. Across America, millions of families grapple with rising costs, stagnant wages, and an economy that feels rigged against them. Picture this. You head to the grocery store expecting $100 to cover the essentials. But today, that same $100 barely fills half your cart. This isn't just your imagination. Prices for everyday goods have climbed relentlessly. Inflation has surged by nearly 20% since 2020, while average wages have only risen by around 12%. That gap isn't just a number on a graph, it's why so many people feel financially stuck, working harder only to stay in the same place. Beyond rising costs, there's another challenge many households face: the erosion of financial security. Credit card debt in the U.S. has reached an all-time high of $1.2 trillion. Savings, on the other hand, are practically non-existent for many families. Over 60% of Americans admit they couldn't cover a $400 emergency expense without borrowing or selling possessions. Meanwhile, the dream of homeownership is slipping further out of reach. The average cost of a home has skyrocketed to $416,000, pushing many people into increasingly unaffordable rental markets. Even renting is becoming a nightmare, with average rents in cities like New York and Miami soaring by over 30% in the past 4 years. The struggles many face aren't just bad luck, they're rooted in more profound, systemic challenges brewing for decades. Debt, for one, is an issue that's spiraling out of control. Wages have failed to keep pace with the rising cost of living, forcing millions to rely on credit cards to cover basic needs. With interest rates at their highest levels in decades, this debt has become a crushing burden. For example, a household carrying $10,000 in credit card debt could face annual interest payments exceeding $2,500. That money could have gone toward groceries, rent, or future savings, but is swallowed up by compounding debt. Housing is another major factor. For those who weren't lucky enough to lock in a mortgage during the ultra-low interest rate era of 2020-2021, the current rates, hovering around 7% or higher, are daunting. A $400,000 mortgage now costs hundreds more each month in interest, compared to just a few years ago. For renters, the picture isn't any brighter. Nationally, rents have risen by 22% since 2020, leaving many families with little to no disposable income after paying their landlords. And while the unemployment rate may be low, the jobs being created often lack stability, benefits, or fair wages. Many workers are trapped in gig economy roles or part-time positions, struggling to make ends meet despite employment. While the financial landscape can feel bleak, there are quiet victories worth acknowledging. Over the past 4 years, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, under Lina Khan's leadership, has implemented significant reforms to protect workers and consumers. For example, the FTC recently banned non-compete clauses, preventing over 30 million workers from seeking better-paying jobs in their industries. Imagine being stuck in a job you hate, knowing that legally you couldn't move to a competitor offering better pay or benefits. Thanks to this reform, millions of Americans can pursue opportunities without fear of legal repercussions. The FTC has also cracked down on predatory practices that target everyday consumers. The FTC has stepped in to level the playing field, from subscription services with hidden fees to apps that allow landlords to collude and artificially inflate rents. These reforms might not make flashy headlines, but they've made tangible improvements in many lives. Additionally, by mandating more precise pricing and transparent contracts, the FTC has empowered consumers to make informed decisions, particularly in industries like healthcare and internet services, where hidden costs have long been frustrating. However, these victories often go unnoticed. Politicians on both sides of the aisle rarely highlight them, fearing backlash from corporate donors and media outlets aligned with wealthy interests. For many, these reforms represent a quiet battle for fairness, but without broader recognition, the average person remains unaware of progress. The challenges we face are daunting, but they're not insurmountable. Addressing these issues requires systemic changes, starting with housing policies. Many cities across the U.S. operate under outdated zoning laws prioritizing single-family homes over affordable multifamily developments. Cities like Minneapolis, which have relaxed these rules, provide a blueprint for increasing affordable housing options without sacrificing quality of life. Beyond housing, regulating payday lenders is another essential step. With interest rates on payday loans sometimes exceeding 400%, these loans trap vulnerable families in cycles of debt. States like Colorado, which capped payday loan interest rates at 36%, have proven that regulation can protect consumers without eliminating credit access. Supporting workers is equally crucial. While offering flexibility for some, the gig economy has left many without benefits, job security, or a safety net. Strengthening labor rights and ensuring that all workers, regardless of employment type, have access to health care, retirement savings, and paid sick leave is a step toward a more equitable economy. Transparency is another area where change can make a big difference. Hidden fees and surprise charges cost Americans billions yearly, from hospital bills to airline tickets. Mandating more transparent pricing and better disclosures would empower consumers to make informed decisions and avoid unnecessary expenses. Let's take a closer look at how these issues impact real people. Imagine you're a single parent earning $50,000 a year. Your budget is already stretched thin between rent, groceries, childcare, and transportation. Now, add an unexpected medical bill or car repair, and suddenly, you're forced to choose between paying down debt and putting food on the table. Unfortunately, this scenario isn't hypothetical. It's the daily reality for millions of Americans. Or consider a young professional carrying student loan debt, trying to save for a home while rents continue to climb. These challenges will only worsen without significant policy changes, leaving entire generations financially stuck. While our problems are complex, the solutions begin with awareness and action. By understanding the forces shaping our economy, we can make better decisions for ourselves and advocate for change in our communities. Start by taking small, practical steps in your own life. Track your weekly spending to see where your money is going. You might uncover opportunities to cut back or save. If credit card debt is weighing you down, consider paying off the card with the highest interest rate first. These actions might seem small, but they add up over time. On a larger scale, voting in local elections can have a considerable impact. National elections get all the attention, but local policies often shape our daily lives, from housing to wages to education. Finally, don't underestimate the power of sharing your story. If you've experienced the struggles discussed in this video, share your experiences in the comments. Start a conversation with friends or family. Real change begins when we stop suffering in silence and build collective awareness. The challenges we face, from rising costs to stagnant wages, are daunting, but they're not impossible to overcome. Together, we can push for policies that prioritize people over profits, hold leaders accountable, and create a system where financial security isn't a privilege, it's a right. If you've ever felt like the economy isn't working for you, know you're not alone. Here at Cash Keys, our mission is to break down complex money topics into simple, actionable steps to help you take control of your financial future. If this message resonates with you, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel. Together, let's unlock the future of financial freedom, one step at a time.